you grow the most in college.
Absolutely.
So you kind of like, you learn a lot about yourself. And I think that I learned that I want to be a student more than an athlete. But, and some people are different. But I think that at the end of the day, being a student is why we're here. So.
Hello and welcome to the Get a Student Life podcast, where we talk about all things student life at Boise State. I'm your host, Maggie Larson, and today I'm here with Maggie Larson. So thanks for being on the podcast today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And so you're involved with ASBSU, so I'm interested to hear about the impact you're making on campus and just how your Boise experience has been so far. But before we get into that, the question of the day for you is, what is something on your bucket list that you are dying to do?
Oh, that's a really good question. I have a very lengthy bucket list.
Oh, good.
I think one of the biggest ones, I was just talking to my friend about this the other day. I want to snowboard at Mount Hood during the summer solstice.
Oh, wow. I love how specific it is. That's very cool.
Thank you.
So when would you be able to do that?
So Mount Hood has a high enough elevation that you can snowboard in the summer. And so
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure about this summer because it's been a little bit warm.
Yeah.
But yeah, normally they host a summer solstice party at the top of their mountain.
Like annually?
Mm-hmm. And you can go up there and snowboard, and you have to take a lift up and then hike up to the highest point.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So you're an avid snowboarder?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How have you been up to Bogus since like this winter?
Yeah, I have. It's been really bad, but I went up last night, and it was good. So, because we got a couple inches,
a little more snow.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
Where is the coolest place that you've snowboarded?
I haven't actually snowboarded that many places,
okay,
but
wow,
I've gone to a mountain in Boulder that I honestly don't remember the name, but it was in Boulder, Colorado when I was first learning how to snowboard, and that's the first time I've ever skied an actual mountain because I'm from Minnesota, and there we just had man-made hills to learn how to snowboard on, and the elevation was 200 feet. So.
Oh, so not high at all.
Yeah, so I think either that or I just went to Beaver Mountain in Utah, and that was really cool too.
Mm-hmm. Very awesome.
Yeah.
So what drew you to Boise then?
So originally, when I was coming to college or looking for colleges, I was mainly just looking for the track team because I did track for my first 2 years here. And so the track coach recruited me and got me out here. And I also went to a track meet here when I was younger, before COVID, and I saw Idaho for the first time. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. I love it here.
Cool.
So that's kind of what drew me to Idaho. And then it kind of just helped that the coaches here were amazing, and I was able to get on the team. So
yeah, how has the experience on the track team been for you?
It was really good. I recently, just this year, decided to take my leave and kind of step away from it because I was getting more involved in academics and the university. And I was dealing with some injuries that I kind of just didn't want to deal with anymore. They were kind of weighing on me mentally. Yeah. So, but before that, it was a really good experience. I had a really good freshman year. It was my first time ever competing at full indoor season. And I ended up performing really well, and then going into outdoor season was just really fun. I had a really great team. The coaches are amazing here, and so, yeah, it was just a really good experience all around.
Oh, very awesome. So how did being a student or an athlete impact you being a student, and how was that for your...
I think my freshman year, it kind of, being an athlete made me not care as much about school just because, you're so focused on that athletic life and being that the student athlete, but emphasis on athlete. But then I kind of grew out of that a little bit, and I was able to use like my connections in track and like my basically like my name, image, and likeness to like get more connections in my classrooms and in the university. So it actually like pushed me into this role of being more involved with the university.
Okay.
And so at first it was a little iffy, like being a student athlete, but now I would say that it was probably the best thing that I could have done.
And what advice would you have for another student athlete about like that work-life sport balance?
I would say don't forget that school is the most important part.
Like why you're actually here.
It's why you're here, yeah. I think that it's really easy to forget that the student comes before the athlete.
Yeah.
And I would also say don't let your coaches forget that either. Because sometimes my coaches were, luckily, they didn't forget, and they were really good coaches, but I do know that some coaches kind of forget that like athletes are also students. So
yes,
stick up for yourself when it comes to that.
Yeah. And for you personally, what helped you stay on track with school but also being the best athlete you could?
I think that I was just very motivated in school. Like, I knew that I wanted a good career. Like, now I want to be a lawyer, so like I have to get good grades, and like that's very motivating for me. And then it kind of made me go away from being an athlete, but like I think that's the whole point. Like, you kind of grow at college. Is like you grow the most in college.
Absolutely.
So you kind of like you learn a lot about yourself, and I think that I learned that I wanted to be a student more than an athlete. But and some people are different, but I think that at the end of the day, being a student is why we're here. So
totally.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it was still a good experience, and it's obviously going to impact your college career, but then choosing what you want to focus on and spend your time towards is important for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And you were saying that being a student athlete helped you be more involved. And so how did that get you more involved on campus?
Well, it helps that as an athlete, you have to be on campus all the time. So you kind of like, you see a lot more than like what normal, let's say a commuter student, like they wouldn't see like how all of the programs are working together, or how clubs are working together, stuff like that. So I think that just that like forcefully being on campus all the time, like that really helped me see what was going on and being like, okay, like this is actually really cool. Like, we have opportunities here, we have potential here. Like, let me put myself in a position where I can actually do that, you know? And then also like our administrators are really good. Like, we go to the varsity center every day for lift, and in the varsity center, all of our administrators are for the athletic program are just like walking around doing their thing, and they all know your name, and they say hi, and they're super nice. And they're super approachable. And I think being able to go talk to them and be like, this is what I want to do. And we had a whole, in the athletic program, we had a whole, section to the athletic program, or like, I don't even know what it's called, but like, it's called Bronco Life, where they help athletes become humans, basically, or like step into the real world. And so they're very approachable people. It's really nice to go talk to them and be like, this is what I want to do, how can I do it? And they are there for you. And even now, I'm not an athlete anymore, I still am in contact with those administrators, because they just want athletes to be able to make a difference and like improve on where they want to improve on. So
yeah, what a good resource for student athletes, but then also for you to still know who to reach out to and know who's in your corner supporting you to help you get where you need to be. Because every student needs that, a person that's going to help guide them a little bit when you're like,
definitely.
What do we do here? And so being on campus every day would definitely make you aware of the resources and how to be involved. And so I'm curious how you got involved with ASBSU in the first place.
So last year I actually ended up redshirting my outdoor season, so I wasn't able to compete. I was just practicing.
Okay.
And because of that, I was trying to like find things to like fill my time, because like my entire team, which was like my friend group, was traveling every weekend, and I was trying to figure out what we could do. And my mom gave me the suggestion to like join a club or like student government. I was like, oh, student government. I forgot that was a thing. Yeah. Because I come from a really small high school where it's not really a thing there. Like, we had our student government, and like, but it really didn't do much. So I looked into it, and I discovered ASBSU, and like I'd followed ASBSU, and also I was an Anders Scholar, and Che, our current president, used to be an Anders Scholar. Okay. So I like knew it was a thing, but I didn't really know much about it, and I never really thought to get involved with it. But I was like, I am so bored, and I need fulfillment. I'm gonna go try this out. So I actually applied for a couple positions last summer, and then between me and Jay, we were like, yeah, you're not going to have time for this because of track. And then, but she wanted me to be the sustainability chair, and I wanted to be the sustainability chair. So we coordinated that, and I ended up being the student athlete rep on our our assembly. So we had our Senate and our assembly. So I was a student athlete rep on our assembly. And then I decided to step back from track. And because I honestly, like after that semester, I loved ASBSU and I wanted to get more involved in it. And then I stepped back from track and I was able to step into a position. And luckily, our administrative director was graduating. So I applied for that, and Shay like almost immediately gave me an interview and then gave me the job. And I started working, and I love that job now, and I love the position. So
that's very awesome. And then when you're saying no to one opportunity, you can be saying yes to another opportunity, or like when doors close, others open.
Oh, yeah.
So that's really cool that you now have the time and capacity to be able to do what you love. Not that you didn't love track, but still in a different way.
Yeah.
And being the student athlete representative, you get to be a spokesperson for other student athletes, right?
Yep.
Kind of advocate for them.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so that's very cool. So what do you do as the sustainability chair now?
So I have a committee of like 7 to 10 people, maybe, depending on the week. And we do a lot of things with the Sustainability Center on campus. So, shout out to Amy Parrish. She's coming to our meeting tonight. She gives us a bunch of stuff to do. Like, recently we just redid our recycling on campus, and between her and her team, we wanted to make a video for them, kind of educating people on recycling on campus, because it was previously a mess and we're trying to fix it. And so we made a little video just educating people and or the student body to on how recycling works, and that'll launch hopefully by the end of this month. And then on top of that, we're also like going through and like redoing all the recycling signs, because we want it to be more uniform. And and then we just work on some other projects. Like we're trying to figure out how to like bring solar to campus. Or like between me and my connections on athletics, we're trying to plan a green game, and where we educate about recycling and sustainable practices on campus. And we're also like moving towards a carbon neutral campus by I think 2050, 2035 maybe. And so we're trying to like hard launch that process, because something like that like takes a village. Like we're going to need everybody behind us, so we want to start like rallying behind it and getting the students excited about it, and the athletic program excited about it and stuff like that. So,
and do you have like social media platforms that you're putting the stuff out on? Or
well, we can use the university's social media platform.
Okay, perfect.
If they allow us to. And then we also have like our ASBSU social media platform. And I have not thought about making a sustainability committee platform, but honestly,
if you have big projects coming, it could be something to
that
consider.
might be a good idea.
And so you said there's that's such a hard word for your mouth. Sustainability Center, it's a tongue twister, like on campus that students can go to? Or is it more like an office?
I mean, I've been to there.
Okay.
It is just an office with, where like
gotcha.
That's where Amy works and a couple other administrators work. And it's like over by, I think it's by construction management, like their little buildings where they keep stuff that I don't really know, but
there's I keep like, learning about new buildings on campus. I'm like, I have never heard.
It's like behind the rec.
Okay.
So in one of those buildings. So like you would miss it and you probably would never like go in there, but it's on campus. And if you want to talk about sustainability or have any ideas, we're also, another thing that sustainability committee is doing along with our sustainability center is we're launching a sustainability fund for students. So essentially, if a student has a sustainability idea, they can present it to a committee, and we can like give them the money for it.
Okay.
So I think it might be called the Green Fund, but it might not have a name yet. We'll see. So that's going to launch by the end of this year too.
Awesome. And so it sounds like you're very passionate about sustainability. Such a hard word right now. And so is that something that you've always been interested in, or just since being in college, or how did that come about for you?
That started in college. So freshman year I came in thinking that I wanted to be a journalist, and then the summer after my freshman year, I went and visited my friend in Boulder. She goes to CU Boulder, and she was in an environmental design program, and she was telling me about it, and I'm like, ooh, environmental stuff, like that sounds fun.
Neat.
Like, this is actually really cool. And then that kind of like jump started my passion. Like, it's always kind of been there. Like, I've always been one of those like touch grass type of people, but I've never really like thought I could make a career out of it. And then I like looked into it, and I'm like, oh, like I could be an environmental lawyer, because that's another thing that's always been in the back of my head, is being a lawyer. And so I looked into that, and I'm like, this is how I can make a difference and do something that I'm passionate about. And so that kind of starting my sophomore year, I added environmental studies as one of my majors, and since then, like, sustainability and environment have been like really close to my heart. So
that's awesome. And it's encouraging to hear too that you came into college with this idea of what you wanted as a career. Journalism was also the one for me too. Shifted a little bit since then, but it's encouraging that like we're in college to figure out what we want to do, and it's not always going to be what we had in mind at first. But it's okay to change our majors.
It definitely
and
is,
try new things and drop things, and it also helps to go experience or have connections with people that are experiencing other things in their schools, like how you got involved with or got the ball rolling with thinking about environmental studies. Just takes like conversations with other people, like what are you doing, what are you passionate about, and can I see myself doing that?
You definitely don't have to come into college knowing what you want to do. Like it'll change.
Because that's the whole purpose is we're all trying to figure out what we're doing, and even after graduating, some people still don't know what they're doing, and that's just fine.
An 18-year-old freshman you is going to be a totally different person than 21-year-old senior years.
Absolutely. And so what advice would you have for students who maybe want to take sustainability more seriously? Or I guess we all should be, but what advice would you give to students so they can do that better?
I would say find where it fits into your career. Like, you don't have to build a career around sustainability. Nobody does. Well, that's not true. People do. But if you're like, one of my very good friends is on sustainability committee, but he's a business major, maybe finance, one of the two.
Something in that realm.
But he's still passionate about sustainability, and I think it's his minor is sustainability, which you can take through the business and economics school. And so he has found a place where it fits into his career, even though he's not basing his career off of it. He is finding a way where it fits. Or like if you're passionate about like art and design, like find where it fits into your career. Or like, I don't even know any more examples, but like with me, like I wanted to be a lawyer, and I found where I can, be an environmental lawyer. I can still make that difference. And like, I would say just like, don't let yourself get overwhelmed by it. Don't completely like 360 your life around sustainability, but like if you're passionate about it, find where it fits in and find where you can make a difference, because you definitely can.
That's really good advice. And how do you feel like you personally have made the biggest impact on campus? You mentioned some of these new projects like with recycling, but is there anything you feel like you've impacted campus in the biggest way? I
feel like I've done a good job. I'd like to think that I've done a good job of making sustainability a bigger part on campus, and not to say that it hasn't been before, because it absolutely has been. And Che is actually my co-chair, and she has done a good job of leading sustainability committee, but I feel like now that it's become a bigger thing, and our campus wanting to be carbon neutral, I feel like I've been doing a better job of making it well known to students. At least I hope I have.
Yes, I mean, by doing this and talking about it,
exactly. I like spreading the word is my thing right now, because we are launching a lot of programs that are gonna, make a big difference, but I can't fully take credit for them right now. But maybe talk to me again in a little bit.
Yeah. And studying communication too, that also allows you to be able to communicate better,
exactly,
especially with the public or student body.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing about the like science and like the STEM majors is they're very good at what they do, but sometimes they like communicating and educating the public go under the rug, and so that's where I would step in and be like, I know how to speak to people.
There you go. They're such important skills that, I mean, like you said about finding where you can fit it in your career.
Right, yeah.
Those skills you're going to fit into any career.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, going back to your involvement in ASBSU, what is something that you wish students knew about ASBSU and what they do?
I really wish people would get more involved with it. And to know, I feel like a lot of people don't know that it exists, and which is okay because we're a growing program, and that's going to take time. We can't just automatically be like, you have to know about our student government. But I do wish that people knew that we have the student government, and we're not just here to like make decisions for you. We're here because of you. Like a lot of
like with you.
Like a lot of us are elected next year. Well, I wasn't elected. My position is an appointed position, but we have a lot of elected positions, which means students have to vote for you. And next year we're going to vote for the senators, so that means like big part of our joint meetings will be people that are elected by the student body. And I just would like for us to have more like general student body representation through those senators, through those elected members, because I feel like ASBSU feels kind of like an exclusive club right now, and it simply is not. Like anybody can join. You can be a part of the assembly or the senate, and you can be as committed as you want. You can just show up to the 1 hour joint session that we have every week, or you can come and get in, like put yourself out there for an exec position, or you can be on committees, multiple committees, and make a difference through that way. But as far as just like having that representation, I really wish that more students would be interested in that. And I also wish that they knew that we are very approachable humans. Like if you like last year when I met Che at the Anders Scholar meeting, she was so intimidating to me because I'm like, oh, that's our future president. Yeah. But now that I've talked to her, I'm like, I feel like I could tell her anything, and she's super approachable, and I hope that the rest of us give off the vibe that we're super approachable, because
I get that vibe right now. So
thank you. That's good, because we do like the student body has really good ideas, and we're the ones that can put those ideas into motion. So, I would just like more people to approach us and be like, here's my ideas. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because that's also the student body getting involved with their campus. Like you can be involved in ASBSU, but you don't have to hold a position to have a voice in it.
Definitely not.
Okay, so to kind of wrap up our conversation, what is something, so you're a junior now.
Yes.
And starting to feel a little real about being done with college, but you've also done plenty of semesters. So what is something that you right now would go back and tell your freshman yourself?
I would say, like go towards what you're passionate about, and it's okay if you lose passion in some things and find passion in other places, because that's going to lead you to a really great place. But if you hold on to those things that you're not really passionate about, you're gonna go into a hole a little bit, and you don't want that. So, if you find passion somewhere, follow it and hold on to it. And, and it's okay if you lose passion, and that happens. I mean, I definitely lost the passion I had in track, and found new passions other places. And I think that I've grown a lot from it, and I'm a better person for it. And, I'm very happy for myself that I found that. So I'd say tell a little freshman me, if you don't do 4 years of track, it's okay.
It's going to be all right. There will be other things,
there are other
opportunities.
Things. Yes.
Yeah, and look at you now doing all the things you love. That's so valid for for like passions to change. Like for this season I was passionate about this, but for this season it might be something else.
Yeah, exactly. It changes per semester when you're in college.
Basically, because every semester is different. It's like
and you discover
you
discover a lot of new things in college. So you're gonna find new passions everywhere.
Totally. That is the advice for everybody today.
Yes.
So thank you, Maggie, for being on the podcast and telling us about your experience with track and field and ASBSU. And I hope that students listening will reach out to you and other ASB representatives to have their ideas and voices be heard, and so that you can be advocates for them. And our Student Life blog, we have a article called I Didn't Know That about ASBSU that has more information on what our student government is and what they do. So be sure to check out that, and along with sharing this episode with a friend. And if you have a cool story to share or know of someone that has something that would be interesting for the student body to hear, reach out to us via the Student Life website or our email at studentlife@boisestate.edu. So thank you for listening. Now go get a student life.